Namaste students. We are reading the chapter called Organizing, fifth chapter Organizing. And in previous class we studied what do you mean by organizing. Organizing is nothing but arranging the material of the organization in a systematic way. Material might be financial resources, or mainly it is human resources, or any other kind of materials like machinery, equipment. So the overall resources of the organization, if we arrange it in a systematic way, that we call it as organizing. Then after knowing the concept of organization, we move towards the benefit of organization. If we organize our enterprise in a systematic way, what kind of benefit we may get? So we have seen some of the benefits. We can get the benefits of specialization, and we can group the work, we can increase the productivity. So we have seen many kind of benefits. And after seeing the benefits, we gone through the steps of the process of organization. There are mainly 4 steps in the process of organization. In that, first one comes like that we need to identify the work. We need to identify what kind of work we need to do in this particular organization. After identifying, we have to divide. We have to divide that whole work of the organization into a small group. After dividing it to, we have to arrange it in, or we have to make a different department. We have to group a work of similar nature under one particular department. When we departmentalize, we get some of the department called purchase department, or marketing department, HR department, research and development department. We get the different departments. After departmentalization, we have to assign the duties. We have to assign the duties to the employees. How we need to assign the duties? Duties has to be assigned based on their skill and ability. Based on the worker's skill and ability, we have to assign the duties. If we do not assign the duties based on their skill and ability, we cannot get the efficiency. With that employees, we cannot get the efficiency. If we are unable to get the efficiency, then we cannot get the productivity. Ultimately, it relates to the profits of the organization. So, we have to assign their duties based on their skill and ability. After assigning duties, there comes the last step. We have to define their working relationship. Working relationship means authority relationship we have to define. Authority relationship is nothing but for whom we have to report, from whom we have to receive the orders after completing our task, for whom we have to report. So these 4 are the main steps in the process of organization. Firstly, we have to identify the work, then we have to divide, identification and division of work. Next comes their departmentalization. We have to divide the organization into different departments. After departmentalization comes their assigning of duties. We have to assign the duties based on their skill and ability. After that, we have to maintain their authority relationship. We have to establish their authority relationship among the employees. After that, after completed with the process of organization, then we are moving towards the organization structure. Here we move towards the organization structure. Organization structure is the outcome of organization process. Now we have gone through the process of organization. We have done all the work. We divided the work of the organization. We assigned duty. We had done the departmentalization. Now we need to have one proper framework. What is the structure of that, or through what level it has to flow? That structure we have to decide. So organization structure is the outcome of the organization process. If an organization, if it has their effective structure, then it can get their more profit. The organization which concentrated towards the profit, it will concentrate more towards its organization structure. So organization structure, it helps to increase the profit of the organization. So next topic is the organization structure. Now we'll see what you mean by organization structure there. Now see the definition there. It is a framework within which managerial and operating tasks are performed. It specifies the relationship between people, work and resources. So organization structure is one framework. Framework is nothing but a boundary within which we need to work. We have to work within that boundaries only, or we have to work within that framework. So it decides that what we have to do and what we shouldn't do. Within what we need to do, and beyond that, beyond what we should not go. go there. So it gives one proper framework. In that framework only we need to work. So it is a framework within which managerial and operating tasks are performed. It specifies the relationship between people, work and resources. Now, which managerial and operating tasks? What is a managerial task? Managerial tasks are nothing but the administrative work. How a manager manages his superior, or manager he manages a different department, and department heads they will concentrate on their particular department. Ultimately, this particular one enterprise it concentrates towards the achievement of organizational goals. Managerial is nothing but managing the organization. Operating task means what activities we perform. What activities we perform in that particular enterprise. This activity what we perform that has to be managed by someone, that we call it as manager. So managerial and operating tasks are to be performed. Both managerial and operating tasks we have to perform within that particular framework. That we call it as organization structure. It specifies that it states the relationship. What kind of relationship between people, work and resources? We know that we require all these three things. People, it's nothing but human resources. Work is nothing but activity we conduct over in that particular enterprise. And resources. Resources we know that material resources, financial resources, many kind of resources are available. So it also states the relationship between these three. Because it overall states that what we need to do. Within what we have to work there, what kind of things we need to use, what we shouldn't use. So it's a framework or it's a boundaries within that we need to perform our managerial and operating tasks. I hope you are clear with the definition or the concept of organization structure. Now there is one more concept called span of management. Span of management it greatly influences the organization structure. Organization structure it involves the span of management. Span of management is nothing but a single superior, how efficiently he will manage the group of employees. A single superior, how efficiently he will manage the group of people who working under him, who are directly report to him, how he will manage those group of subordinates, his group of subordinates. So it refers to the member of subordinates. That can be efficiently managed by a superior. It refers to the member of subordinates that can be efficiently managed by a superior. A single superior, how efficiently he will manage his group of subordinates who they are directly reports to this particular superior. This, for example, we take there are 10 employees in the organization. One superior is there. And he has 6 employees. So 6 employees means employee 1, then employee 2, here employee 3, employee 5 and employee 6. So he is a superior here. Under him he has to manage 5 subordinates, and these 5 subordinates they will report to this particular superior. So how efficiently he will manage his subordinates, that we call it as span of management. How efficiently he will manage these subordinates who are responsible to report him, that we call it as span of management. It also defines the level of or hierarchy of the organization. Hierarchy means he is the superior and under him his subordinates will come, and under this particular subordinate some other subordinates may come. He may handle two more subordinates. So he will be superior for these two. So it defines the level of the organization and it defines the hierarchy of the organization. And when we say about organization structure, the mainly when there is a need of organization structure for an enterprise, when it increases its business or when it goes for expansion or when it engages many other lines of product, it requires the proper organization structures. So organization structure we can divide it into two types. In case of types of organization structure we can divide it into two types. That is, first one, functional structure. second one divisional. So functional structure and divisional structure. Organization, which organization concentrate towards the profit or which is interested to expand its business or which engaging into some other lines of product. So they are mainly concentrating towards organization structure, because organization structure is an important factor in order to get profit in the organization. So nextly we will move towards types of the organization. We will see one by one what is functional and what is divisional structure. Now we will see, as I said, there are two kinds of organization structure, that is functional structure and other one is divisional structure. Now we will see the first one, what is functional structure. Functional structure here grouping the jobs of similar nature based on the functions performed by the organization. Grouping the jobs of the similar nature, based on the functions performed by the organization. Mainly based on the function, we divide the organization, that we call it as functional structure, where we structure the organization based on the functions performed by the organization. Functions performed by the organization means what kind of operational function or managerial function a particular enterprise will perform. For example, purchasing function, that is one function, or HR function, human resource development, then finance function or marketing function, sales function. So these are the functions of the organization. Under these functions we conduct variety of activities. So these are the functions of the organization. So based on these functions, if we structure the particular organization, that we call it as functional structure. Now here MD, that is managing director. Then you see here functions like production function. The production, it is one of the function. Then we can take the human resource, HR, that is also one function performed by the organization. Then we can take the research and development, R&D, that's also one of the function. Then we can take the marketing. This is also one of the function of the organization. Then we can extend there, still if we want finance, we can add here even finance department. So these are the functions performed by the organization. If we divide the organization based on these functions, then we call it as functional structure. For example, we will take the mainly functional structure, it suits for the large kind of organization. It suits for the large kind of organization which engage into a diversified activities. The large organization which engaged into a diversified activities, this functional structure will suit. So we can take an example like one particular company is there. Company name is ABC. There is a company called ABC, and this company is engaged in the activities of one. It engaged in the cosmetics, any of the cosmetics item, or one more it engaged in cosmetics, and one more will take footwear, cosmetics and footwear. These are the main two product lines of this particular company. These are the two product lines of that particular company. Now they divide that particular organization based on the function. They divide that organization based on the function. So it comes like this: production, HR, research and development, marketing and finance. So what they have to do under this production, what kind of production activity they have to carry? I said they engage in cosmetics and footwear. So they have to produce their cosmetics items and also footwear production. They have to look into the production of footwear. Also they have to look into the production of cosmetics items. Now here HR. HR means human resource development. They have to look into the human resources they are responsible. Now here research and development related to cosmetics and footwear. Same way here also marketing of footwear and cosmetics. Finance also it continues. So this kind of structure we call it as functional structure, where functions we divide the organization based on the functions. Under that particular function, the product line will come. These are the different product lines. These are the different product lines. For example, if another kind of food products or any other kind of product line comes, even the food products also we can add them. So here production department is responsible for the production of responsible for production of cosmetics items as well as footwear production. Here HR department is responsible for the cosmetics and footwear human resource development. And here research and development, they need to conduct the research and development of cosmetics and also for footwear. Here marketing of footwear and cosmetics items. So where the product line will come under the function, and we divide based on the function. That kind of structure we call it as functional structure. Now we'll see, when we divide a particular organization based on the function, what kind of benefits or what kind of demerits we can get. If we get benefits there, obviously we will get even demerits will get. We'll go through the merits and demerits one by one. Now the first one, functional specialization. We can get the benefit of functional specialization. I said if we get functional specialization, if we get specialization there, then we can increase the efficiency of the employees, and the same way we can increase the profit of the organization. So we'll see how we can get the functional specialization with regard to the functional structure. See here, the workers who are working under production department, they will be efficient and they will be specialized in the production kind of activities, because they are regularly doing only the activities related to the production. They are regularly on daily basis, they are doing the activities of the production. So they will be the workers or employees who works under production department, they will be specialized in case of production activities, because they are not engaging into any other lines of any other functions of the organization. They are engaged only in the production activities. In the same way, if we see HR department, the workers, those who work under HR department, they will specialize in the activities of HR. They will be specialized in the activities of the HR. And those who work in research and development, they will be specialized in the research and development kind of activities or work. The marketing department people or the employees will be specialized in the marketing activities. See, in this case, the employees, those who are working under production department, they are not going and work under HR department. These employees are different and these employees are different. So these employees, those who will under production department, they will purely carry on production activities. So on a regular basis, there will not be change in their activities. They will be engaged in production activities. And so when we divide based on the function, there will be the functional specialization. They will be specialized in their respective functions. They will be, employees will be specialized in their respective functions. And when they work, when they get specialization, their efficiency will increase. They will be doing same kind of work regularly, so their efficiency will increase and speed of work also can increase. So we can increase the productivity also if we get functional specializations. So that is one advantage under functional structure. Then if we move towards second one, there will be a better control and coordination within the department. There will be a better control and coordination within the department. How we can get better control and coordination within the department? See here, if we take production department, they will be engaged in the similar kind of activities. They will be engaged in the similar kind of activities, that is production activity, or producing some of the product which they are engaged in. And under HR department, they will be engaged in the similar kind of activities, that is HR kind of activities. That might be the recruiting, selection, training, development, such kind of activities. And research and development means researching about the other kind of taste and other kind of flavors we can include in the product, or what kind of the other kind of designs we can include in the product. If we see these two, what kind of designs we can include in our product. And marketing means how we need to market based on the demand, what kind of demand is prevailing in the market, how we can market our product. So these will be, under this, workers will be engaged in the similar kind of activity. There will be production, here will be HR, here will be research and development, here will be marketing kind of work. So there will not be any kind of confusion. There will not be any kind of confusion. They will be clear with their work. So there will be better coordination within the department. The employees, those who will working under production department, between them there will be better coordination. Employees those who are working within HR department, there will be better coordination within the department. Increasing profit. As I said, increasing profit is it is through the functional specialization. We know that if your employees are specialized in their respective lines of activities, there will be the better efficiency among the workers. These workers will be efficient in this kind of activity. These workers will be efficient in this kind of activity. When we have efficiency in our with our employees, what do you mean by efficiency? Efficiency is nothing but completing a task without wasting our time and effort. With less effort and less time, we are completing our task. With less effort and less time, we are completing our task in a better way. In a better way, we are completing our task. That we call it as efficiency. So if we get efficiency there, obviously there will be the increase in profit. We can increase the profit there. Then easy training. Easy training is nothing but, we know that these workers, the workers those who work under production department, we should give them a training of production kind of activity. It is not necessary for them to give HR, research and development and marketing kind of activities. Only production. A group of employees, only production kind of training. And this group of employees, only HR kind of training. This group of employees, only research and development of kind of training. So, in training of employees will be easy here. It is not necessary for the workers of this department that we need to give training of this, because they are not engaging in that kind of activities. They are purely involved in production activities. So, we can give only this kind of training. So, training process under functional structure, it is easy. Economy in operation. Economy in operation means, now here you see cosmetics and footwear, two lines of product I have taken. Now cosmetics also produced here only, footwear also produced here only. So once again no need to produce, or we are not engaging in production of any of the items. Once again production, everything, all the production activities will be carried here only. So there will not be a duplication of work. Once again, we are not engaging in production activity anywhere here. So there will not be the duplication of work under functional structure. So that leads to the economy in operation. Economy in operation means reduce in the cost. Economy in operation is nothing but reduce in the cost. Cost is minimized here. Under functional structure, compared to divisional structure, here cost is minimized because there is no duplication of work. Here also if you see HR, everything HR related work will get over here only. Once again we are not taking any of the HR kind of activities here. So there is no duplication of work. So cost of operation is less. So cost of operation is less. So we can say economy in operation. Economy is nothing but less cost. Now we have seen the various kinds of merits, that is functional specialization. As I said, regularly if a employee do a same kind of work, he will be specialized in such kind of work. So if he is specialized, then we can get the efficiency among the employees. Now better control and coordination within the department. Better control because they will be engaged in the similar kind of work. So within the employees, within the production department, between the employees, there will be the better coordination because there will not be any kind of confusion. Because there will not be any kind of confusion due to they are working the similar kind of work. So we can get better control and coordination. Increasing profit, as I said, if we get the benefit of specialization, their efficiency will increase. If efficiency increases, then we can see the increase in the profit. What do you mean by efficiency? Efficiency is nothing but completion of a job in a better way with less time and less effort. Completing the better way of doing job with less effort and less time, that we call it as efficiency. Then easy training, as I said, they are engaged in the similar kind of activity. So in which department they are belong to, that department training if you provide, that is enough. No need to give other kind of training. Then economy in operation, as I said, there is no duplication of work. All the production activities will get over here. Once again, we are not doing any kind of production activity. All HR activities will get over here. All research and development activities will get over there. So there will not be a duplication of work. So in economy in operation, that is nothing but less cost in operation. Then we move towards the demerits of organization structure. In that first one, more concentration towards department. Here what happens in the sense, now when we divide based on the function, then we get the different departments. That is production department, HR department, research and development, marketing. Now what happens with the, now for example here one production head will be there or production manager will be there. Under him many workers will be working. Here HR head will be there. Under him many workers will be working. So what happened with this head and employees? Now they are engaging only with the production kind of activity. They are not aware or they are not engaged in any other kind. So they will more concentrate towards their particular department. They will concentrate more towards particular department rather than whole organization. And they give more importance to their production objective or production target or goal rather than organizational goals or objectives, because they are purely concentrate towards and their activities also purely concentrate towards their particular department. So there will be more concentration towards their individual department rather than organization. But when we take into an employee of the organization, means they have to at the end they have to concentrate towards their organizational objective. But here what happens, they give more importance to their particular department rather than the organization. So that may be a demerits. That will be one of the demerits for the under functional structure. Then second one, problem in coordination between the department. As I said, when I explained the merits, I said there will be the better coordination within the department. But there is one more problem, that there will be a problem in coordination between the department. I said there will be a better coordination, the employees of the within the organization, but there will be the problem between the departments. When they need to share the information or when they need to receive some information, there might be some kind of problem may arise between the production department and between the HR department or between the research and development department. For example, if I take the example of, now this has to convey something, the production department has to convey something to this department, and they are not receiving that orders properly or they are not receiving that information properly. What happens there? There will be the conflict between the department. So there is a chances of conflict between the department, not within the department. Within the department there will be better coordination, but between the department there may be the conflict, because this department is entirely different. Their activities and their department heads are completely different and these are completely different. So there may be a chances of conflict. That is second one. Now conflict of interest between the department. Conflict of interest in the sense, for example we take, now marketing people will conduct some survey and they will choose one customer friendly product. They will say we need to include this technique in our product. For example, we have taken here cosmetics. We have taken cosmetics. We take the product of lipstick. We take the product of lipstick, and these have done some of the service, and they will say in this lipstick we include this kind of flavor or we include this kind of color or something they what survey and they will say, take this particular idea. But what happens, production department, when this marketing department, when they will convey that idea to the production department, these people face some problems. It might be with the materials or it might be with the machineries or equipment. They will face some problem and they will not find that idea suitable. They will not find that idea suitable or they are not comfortable or convenient with that idea. So there may be a conflict. There may be a chances of conflict between the production department and the marketing department. They may not like their idea or it doesn't suit or it is not convenient to produce for these people. So there will be a conflicts of interest between the department. Now inflexibility. What is that inflexibility? Inflexibility is this production department employees, they can only do production kind of activity. They cannot do HR, research and marketing kind of activity. Same way HR employees, they can only do HR kind of activity. They cannot do other kinds of activities. They are inflexible to move beyond their specialization. They are inflexible to move beyond their specialization because so there will not be any kind of chance for their upgradation. Whatever upgradation they need to get also, it should be within the department. Beyond that they may not get because they are not flexible enough to move beyond their specialization. Because they will be doing only one kind of activity, that is production, or it might be HR or research and development or marketing. So these are the demerits of functional structure. As I said, they may more concentrate towards their individual department rather than whole organization. Then problem in coordination, when the problem of transferring information, any information they need to convey. There may be the problem between the department. There may be the conflicts between the department. Conflicts of interest. Interest, as I said, they may choose one customer-friendly product by analyzing or by conducting some survey, but they are not convenient with them. So there is some problem arises. And inflexibility. They are not flexible enough to move beyond their specialization. That is one more kind of demerits. So we completed with the functional structure. Functional structure is nothing but it divides or it mainly structurizes that particular organization based on the functions performed by the organization. The functions of the organizations are nothing but the production, HR, research, marketing, finance, purchasing, sales. These are the functions of the organization. Based on this, if we categorize, then we call it as functional structure. Under that particular function, product lines will come. That we call as functional structure, and it suits for the such kind of organization which is large in size, and engaged in variety of activities of product line. This particular structure will suit, and here we have seen some of the merits and demerits of this particular structure. Now next we will move towards the other kind of structure which I have told, that is